Hey guys, my name is Haley and today I'm going to be filming a current TBR pile. I have seen these videos going around, and since I am currently not reading because I am in a K-pop hole of getting into a new group that me and Kate have started since the beginning of 2021, that group being Stray Kids. If you are a K-pop stan and have heard me talk about K-pop here, please talk to me about Stray Kids, because that's been 90% of my brain for the last week and a half. But here are all the books that I am not reading in the beginning of 2021. I've literally only read 4 books this month, and I don't even know if I'm a reader anymore, honestly, so let's TBR shame myself. I'm just kidding. I'm actually fine with not reading right now. It's just a bizarre situation, I feel like. I think it's because I've been so stressed with the situation of the world, or sorry, America lately, that reading has just not been in my brain. Also, these are in absolutely zero order besides what I pulled them off of my TBR shelf in. I have 2 little TBR shelves way over there. So our first category is sequels. So I have Strike, which is the sequel to Hit. Oh no, where am I gonna put these? Which I read or reread over the fall. And I went to finish off that duology. Then I have the remainder of the Unwind Dystology. I have these out-of-print Cassandra Rose Clark books called The Assassin's Curse, The Pirate's Wish, and The Wizard's Promise. I have not been in a fantasy mood, which is why I have not touched this and the next trilogy. That is the Graceling trilogy, which I've probably wanted to read since I joined BookTube and just never did, and Kate gave them to me over the summer, so again, if I ever read fantasy again, I will read these. Then we have a Rob Hart book called New York. Rob Hart is the author who wrote The Warehouse, which was one of my favorite books of last year, and this is the start of a new trilogy. I don't think it's new. I think it's backlist for him. But new to me trilogy by him, to see if The Warehouse was a one-off of I really love this. We have another sequel. We have The Boy on the Bridge, which is the sequel to The Girl with All the Gifts, which was one of my favorite books of 2018, 2019, one of those, which I never read. And then we have Black, which is the only Ted Dekker book, and I'm not even sure if it's the most interesting of his books that I have heard the premises of. He is a Christian thriller writer, and I don't know anything other than that, besides the fact that he has a million books, and this is the one that I got from my local used bookstore. Then we have Violet, which is by Scott Thomas, which I have honestly been putting off because I hated Scott Thomas's other book and the way that he handled certain things in his horror, so I'm kind of scared to read this. We have The Girl in Red, which is by the same author that did the Alice in Wonderland retelling that I really liked, and this is a Little Red Riding Hood retelling. We have a graphic novel, which is American Born Chinese, which I've honestly just been saving for when I want something really quick to read, and that has not happened yet because I'm trying not to force myself to read just for the sake of, oh, I've only read 4 books this month, I need to read more. When that's ridiculous. I said that I wanted to read less this year, and I'm actually doing it, so I don't want to force myself to read something just to get the numbers, you know? We have The Future Will Be BS Free, which is the last remaining Will McIntosh book I have not read yet because it is YA, so I haven't been sure how I'm going to react to that because I have not been liking YA at all recently. We have Esau, which I got over the summer from Half Price Books. It's a thriller, which, if you are familiar with the Bible, Esau is a character in the Bible, so I was like, oh, that's interesting, a thriller based on Esau, which I believe he plays a Sasquatch type character in this, so I was like, that could be interesting. And then I have Fate of the Fallen, which I know nothing about, and it's also fantasy, but Kate said it makes fun of fantasy. She was the one that gave it to me because she liked it but didn't want to keep it, so it's kind of short, so I think I will eventually read this. That's basically my pile of TBR books that I have not read yet that I've had for a while, and now we're getting into like newer books that I've gotten like since Christmas, which is slightly a rehash, but like not everybody watched the What I Got for Christmas, right? I have Without You, which is by Anthony Rapp, who is one of the original cast members of Rent on Broadway, who I love, and I got his memoir. We have Times Convert, which I did not know existed when I got into the Discovery of Witches series. And I believe this is some sort of explanation on Matthew's past. And that's all I know about it. I just like saw that it existed and bought it because I'm obsessed with that trilogy. Most recently, I have gotten The Minders by John Mars. If you have been here since the summer, you know that I'm obsessed with John Mars. I need to buy the rest of his books. And this is the one that comes out in February in the US, and I bought it on Book Depository and got it early, and yet I'm not in a reading mood, so there was no point in me buying it early. But I own it now. I Had That Same Dream Again, which is a manga by an author that I really liked their other manga, which was I Want to Eat Your Pancreas, which is probably my favorite manga of all time. And then we have the sequel to Before the Coffee Gets Cold, which this one is called Tales from the Cafe, which is another book that I really enjoyed last year. Again, this is literally a rehash of all the books that I hauled in my Christmas haul, but it's fine. Then we have Loveless by Alice Oseman. I have enjoyed the one Alice Oseman that I have read, which was I Was Born for This. So I'm really looking forward to reading another book by her because she seems to be a contemporary author that I do actually like. And then we have those creepypasta books. We have the Creepypasta Collection and The Sleep Experiment, which is based on a creepypasta. And if you were around in the early 2000s and early internet, creepypasta was a big thing. It might still be a thing and I just don't know about it, but it was a big thing on the internet that I loved for any horror lovers. Then we have The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, which I'm currently on hold for the audiobook for this, so that might actually come in the next couple of weeks, so I plan to read this soon. I have Descendant of the Crane, which I still have not read and have had since the summer. Again, not been reading fantasy, so honestly a lot of these books are fantasy that I'm just like intentionally not touching because I don't want to ruin them for myself when I'm not in the mood to read any sort of high fantasy. Yeah. And then honestly, again, I'm not going to pull them out. I could add Matt and Capaldi's compendiums over there of the graphic novels. Those are technically on my TBR pile. And then I have all of the Doctor Who graphic novels that I got for Christmas, which are the Time Dimension ones and then the last 3 of David's run. And yeah, those are all of the books currently on my physical TBR. There's definitely some audiobooks I have holds on, but I don't count those as my physical TBR. There's definitely a couple of Sandersons over here. Like technically Oathbringer is on my TBR, and technically Starside is on my TBR, which is the sequel to Skyward. So yeah, that is the vast majority of the books that I am counting on my physical TBR. Let me know if any of these books are on your TBR or if you've read any of them and I should pick them up soon. Thank you all for watching and I will see all of you guys next time.